we're going to roll with it. We're going to
Yeah.
roll with it.
Yeah. I'll improvise.
Let's start with this. Improvise, exactly. That's what we're all doing, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
So I'm going to give these cards a shuffle, and then if you just want to tell me to stop, and I'll take the top card.
Right. Stop.
Okay. So the card that's come up for you is today is a new day. And also, it is a day that celebrates your first podcast appearance.
Yes. Yes. I've got the honour of being with you to pop my podcast cherry. So, yeah. I hope that'll get me a get out of jail free card for this.
Absolutely. Do you want to tell our listeners a little bit about who you are, first
Yeah.
of all? Let's start there.
Yes. So I'm Amy, and for the past, nearly 2 decades, I've been an artist and a creative business owner. And I've recently pivoted this year. Well, not pivoted, but I've sort of brought all my life experiences together to start a new offer, possibly a whole new business. But at the moment, I'm calling it an offer to support self-employed mums stay creative and help their businesses thrive so they can just have more time to spend with their kids, be more present, and not have to worry about money. Like, it's such a juggle
Mm,
when you run your own business and you're a mum. And I just felt like at this point in my life, I was really yearning to do something that had a bit more human impact and it was,
yeah.
really be of service to other people.
I love that. You're speaking my language because I think you do get to a certain point after you've had children and you're thinking about the direction that you want to go in. What sort of art do you create? And how did creativity show up for you at the start of all of this?
Well, so when I say artist, a lot of people are like, oh, do you draw or do you paint? But
Mm,
I've never been that type of artist. It's more the sort of weird, immersive participation work, working with communities. It's always been about human beings and creating live experiences and events. I was laughing the other day at a 40th about some of the things that my friends have done or witnessed over my artistic career. Because I went to LIPA, which was basically a performing arts university institution.
yeah.
So I had very easy access to performers quite a lot of the time. So, one time I got my friend to lie naked on a table and I covered her with raw meat. This is when I was getting into my really feminist body art thing.
Yeah.
All my friends have been involved in my events business. I've got them to dress for Shen, take people into little dens and sing them songs. We were just having a really good laugh about that the other day. So I think what I love about how creativity has shown up for me in the past is just all these experiences and memories. It's not about the things that I've made or put on the wall. It's about these live experiences and memories that I've created that'll live with me forever.
And live with those people who participated in that as well forever. And I think this is kind of where the wilderness of creativity sort of stemmed from, was human connection and the fact that when we are trying to grow a business or trying to create something, it is often a very isolating process. And it's about finding your tribe, finding the people who get it. And you touched upon something there as well, which is that art isn't necessarily product. Actually, it's about experience. So how has that sort of translated into business?
I very much want to apply my creativity to problem solving life design,
Mm,
basically. I feel like designing your own life is inherently a very creative act, and my brain just automatically works like that. And something else that I've done as an artist over the past decade or so is mentor other people to become artists. And
yeah.
through the sort of practice of listening and helping learn how to guide people, I was just at a point sort of in my motherhood journey where I just thought I can really do this and apply it to life design for mothers and business owners because that's what I know about.
Mm.
And I feel like I've brought this, I feel like I'm going off on a tangent here that isn't related to the
I
question.
love tangents. This
Okay.
is what it's all about. Bring on the side quest and the tangents.
But yeah, my work has always been about that human connection. So this feels like a very natural pivot for me. It's just making my day to day, my life hours about that human connection, especially with other women. I think at the core of a lot of my projects and a lot of my work has been about equality for women. And when you become a mother, I was just completely shocked at how backwards it felt. Throughout my whole entire life, I've been very aware of the injustices and the unfairnesses. And then when you're a mother, fair enough, if
Mm.
you're breastfeeding on maternity leave, you need to be off work with a baby. And I love that time with both my children. But when that time's over, it's like all these little sort of gendered norms just sort of slip in very surreptitiously under the radar. And you really have to get aware and question what you are doing on default and what has just become normal. You have to question the status quo. Even a partner who is really, my husband is amazing. He's not like a stereotypical like man from the 50s or whatever,
Mm.
but it's
Yeah, yeah.
so ingrained. You have to question these things and be aware so you can
Mm.
actually start rebalancing how you're being a mother and how that works for
Yeah,
you.
so much is speaking to me at the moment. Obviously, I had Oscar when we were in COVID, so the isolation and the lack of connection, lack of community, all of the baby groups were closed or they opened for a short period of time and then they closed again. I found that really hard, and then there was a little bit of anxiety around how I then get in back into meeting people and designing my life that fit around. So I think the work that you're doing is incredible. The whole thing around networking and getting mums to networking events because they have children is so hard. Like how do you work with your clients? Is it a one-to-one or is it kind of group settings or online? Like, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, it is both. So I mentor women and mums one to one, but the group program that I've just launched, the Mama Reset, as it's called for now, is about getting together once a week for about an hour to an hour and a half over 6 weeks. And that, when you're self employed, that kind of feels a bit doable. Um, and the pilot group that I've just ran, we actually met in person for the first time. So I had all the women actually around my kitchen table to start off with. And it was magical. It was so magical because just the honesty and the connection and the chats that just happened straight away. It was just incredible. And we're going to go for a reunion walk towards the summer, late spring, summer, just to check in. And we're going to do a little bit about reviewing goal progress and stuff like that. But it'll just be nice to catch up and be in the same space as everyone again. I think what I do over the next year, I'm playing around with the balance of online and in person. So I think there will always be a real life in person element because just that's inherently really important to me. And I just feel like there's so much power in that. But the
Mm,
next group that I run for Mama Reset, I'm going to test being online and see if I can still hold that space for everyone
mm,
when we're meeting on Zoom. Because there's a lot of stuff around the live sessions as well. We start a WhatsApp group and we sort of run the group on school as well. So there are lots of touch points for the people to connect there. And the group will always be really small. There'll never be more than 10 women in the group. And that's really deliberate just to keep that a really sort of nurturing and safe space for
mm.
everyone. Because I don't know about you, but I feel like I've done a lot of courses where, you're one of 100 and it's so easy just to lurk and not be accountable and not do the work there. Whereas if it's a small group, you're going to get stuff done.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And what sorts of creative work are the participants of the Mama Reset involved in? Like, how is it sort of structured?
Yeah, so I think running a business is naturally a very creative act. You're making creative decisions hundreds of days,
Mm,
day in, day out. What it's about is um it's about sort of your business, thinking about your offers, thinking about what's going to move the needle in your business and bring you those resources and that finance so you don't have to worry about it. But it's also a lot of the holistic scaffolding stuff around that you need to function. We do a section about body and mind and energy. We also look at how your home environment is supporting you and your productivity. Is it distracting you? We look at domestic systems, like where are you letting domestic creep, where you just want to do the dishwasher or put a wash on? Where are you letting that creative hours, your peak creative flow hours? Because that creative flow time when you're working from home, self-employed, and mum really needs to be protective. So we get loads of strategic systems to protect those hours and make sure you are getting the
mm,
most out of your week. And it's structured around, I love a good metaphor. So it's structured around the idea of bringing a garden back to life. So we take stock, audit, and then we prune and simplify. And then it's about planting seeds and being really intentional about what you want to put into your garden and make grow.
My garden is full of weeds.
Have you penciled some time to go and sort it out?
Working on it. I work 4 days in a school
Wow, yes.
on top of everything else. I may be joining the Mama Reset group if you'd have me.
Yes, we can replan your routine from the ground
Yes,
up.
please. That would be amazing. How do you instill I'm going off piece now, forgive me, but how do you instill creativity and imagination in your children?
Wow, do you know what? They are just naturally so creative and
Yeah.
imaginative. So I think it is just about giving them sort of loose shape and resources and materials for them to just follow their instincts. I think with my 4-year-old, I think one of the sort of guiding principles that I follow is that I'm gonna give her good quality art materials, and I'm gonna always have a supply of things ready to go for her to just when she's got the urge just to hop on and create something. But she will just go around the house and, put stuff together and create mini art installations just naturally in her.
Love that.
I run across one in the toilet or like a random room, like, okay, body's moving here.
By the way, when I've got my head down here because I'm taking notes, because it then gives me a sense of where I need to go to in the audio to
Okay.
pick out bits.
Yeah.
And
It's really good to
you
see your
will get a
process
copy.
and how you work in a podcast.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I'm just now thinking how you recharge, because I can tell that you're the sort of person that is very altruistic, like you give so much to everybody. But how do you recharge and how do you maintain your creative flow? Because there's so many interruptions in motherhood.
I would say time blocking has been a huge one for me. I don't get creative, off the cuff or like spur of the moment. That romantic vision of being an artist and being creative, it just doesn't happen anymore being mum. But if I time block it in and I know I've got a window of time, that's enough for me. And I can get into flow quite quickly now. I've become quite
Mm.
efficient at just dropping in and tapping into that creative energy. The technique that I do on the course is list banking. So when I get an unexpected 20 minutes, half an hour, instead of thinking, oh, I could do a million things here, what am I going to do? I've got a list on my Notion board just ready to go of creative things that I want to do, whether that's
Mm.
around the house, in the garden, whether that's sort of fun creative content tasks that I want to do, because I think how I want to be creative now has really changed since becoming a mum. So it's not going to create an art installation or do an event. It is writing and it's making content and it's like making it a video that I enjoy making.
Mm.
I think I used to do a lot of live events and there was always just such a lot of stuff involved in it. I used to make things, so I need tools and material. When I was doing a big event, my old tiny flat in London used to be just crammed full of stuff in the corridor and in the communal hallway and whatever. And I think I don't know if it was becoming a mum and then all the kids clutters on top of that, but I just wanted to do something that was really calm and clear. I didn't want any stuff. I just wanted a laptop in my brain, and that was it. That's just what I want now. But yeah, that feels good. That feels good at the moment.
And I think that's it, isn't it? Is what makes you feel good.
Yeah, yeah.
Why are we forcing anything these days? We don't need to. I think it's about acknowledging and accepting what works for you might not necessarily work for the person next to you.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
everyone's sort of motherhood journey is very different. There's different expectations we all have. But I love the idea of, I've heard of time blocking before. And it's definitely something that I've had to implement for myself because I'm working 4 days at the school and then the Friday is the time. I do have a tendency to overbook myself though.
Are you
Do
putting in
you?
all yeah, but I've started putting in all the stuff that I need to do at home as well, so I'm not trying to cram stuff in where there's not a gap, so I don't end up feeling exhausted and burnt out. So if I need to do 3 loads of washing, I'll time block it so I'm not feeling exhausted and stressed because 'cause I'm trying to do 3 loads of washing whilst I'm trying to do this, that, and the other.
Mm,
So I think it's just recognizing and accepting the things that you have to do.
mm.
But what me and my husband have actually done, which is also on the course, is we've actually got a relationship contract. So we've gone through all the chores and all
Phew.
the things that you need to do as a family to function, and we've divided it up. So you sort of go through and you get the low hanging fruit first. You're like, what wouldn't I mind doing here? And you sort of
Yeah.
assign yourself to the tasks and vice versa. And then you just discuss everything else until you feel like you've divided it and it's fair. We try and stick to that. And it's
Is it
working.
actually written down? Is it written down
Yeah,
as a
yeah, it's on a
contract?
spreadsheet.
Oh my God, I love this. I absolutely love this. Whose idea was this? Or did you come to it as a decision
Oh,
together?
I feel like this is one of those things. I'm such a personal development nerd, being obsessed with just like reading books and podcasts over the past 15 years. I feel like it's just one of those things that's filtered in. I can't remember where it's actually come from, but I've kind of tweaked it and made it
Brilliant.
my own a little bit, like a motherhood version of it.
But I love this. I'm definitely going to be speaking to my other half about this. I think that's the thing, isn't it? You kind of mosey on alongside each other in long-term
Hmm.
relationships, especially when there's children involved. Um, he will do like he's put the washing in this morning, and he does that most mornings if we do. He's pretty domesticated. He'll cook dinner, he'll take the bins out, and I will do all of the organizing. Like that's where my head goes. I love organizing. I love getting a family holiday in. I love organizing weekends away. What we don't tend to do is have anything that's just ours, like time
What do you
together.
mean?
Well, we don't have a date night. We don't have like anything creative that we do together. Like he paints and I'm obviously editing and doing the podcast and stuff. But I would love something that we do together that's creative.
Yes, yeah. That is something that we go into a little bit in on the course. It is about
Oh.
investing in your relationship and putting in time there just to nurture that, because if you don't have that really solid base, whether that's with a partner or a co-parent,
Yeah.
makes everything else so much harder. So putting aside regular time where you can have a date night, or you can even like me and Rob last week, which on a Wednesday afternoon, kind of got most of our jobs done because he runs his own business as well. We just got a garden and just started ripping everything out the shed and sorting that. And just that was just a lovely time. You don't get to do that with two kids.